Where are we going?
We're leaving Charleston and we're headed toward Georgetown. So getting out bright and early so that we can get through most of the water before everyone wakes up and traffic increases on the water. There are some really skinny parts of the ICW coming up this morning, so I'll have to pay super attention to the charts. Wind and water is basically flat, less than a foot. Wind is coming out of the west at like 10 miles an hour right now. So not too bad at all.
Cheers.
Cheers. In this episode, we're moving from Charleston. We spent a good amount of time at Charleston, maybe 2 weeks, to do some boat projects and to fly back and forth for work. But after those 2 weeks, it's time to move north, and our next stop is Georgetown. And because we are moving from marina to marina, Georgetown is the closest viable option for us. So about 58 nautical miles.
Took us about, what, 6 hours, 7 hours to get there?
At about the speed that we cruise, but lots of stuff to cover. In the first third of the trip, there's the ICW, and it's low country, it's weeds and floating plants. There's not a whole lot of water. You go through some skinny parts of the ICW north of Charleston.
Mm-hmm. All right, Kian, why are we going through this teeny tiny waterway this early in the morning? We hit 5 feet. It's our lowest, right? We are now at 10 feet, but we're threading the needle. There are crab pots all along the left side, or
crab pot
port
is
side.
literally on the ground.
And then you got marsh on the right. There's like barely any space here.
Well, we're going through the skinny part of the ICW at low tide because it's switched from low to high, and it's going to push us. It's going to give us some push behind us going all the way up to Georgetown. So it's going to give us some velocity, and we can't wait for high tide because high tide is like at 1 in the afternoon.
Here's the tiny waterway that we're on, basically a creek. And we have all along the port side here, or starboard side, I should say, crab pots. You could see as far as you could see towards that bridge, just littered with crab pots. Let's see if I can. And then on the right, the port side, just marshland right there. You could walk there in like, I don't know, 100 steps. So we're threading the needle on the very skinny ICW here to make sure we have enough beneath us and the bottom of the river to accommodate our 4-foot draft. Yeah. Here's Ian pushing it, doing 17 knots. About an hour away from Georgetown. In sight.
Yep, you can leave the no-way buoy that kind of sits out.
The grand scheme of things, it is a challenging trip, the Charleston to Georgetown leg. It is challenging. You have to pay attention to your depth. There are some places where it is 5 feet or less. There are some places where the channel is like 20 to 30 feet across only. So once you get past that portion, you get into the second half or the second third of the journey, and that is basically you're going through artificial cuts. And these are cuts that are man-made, and they link the natural inland route with the river system, which is a little bit further north.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get into the river system, then you're in a whole different type of water, because it is a true river that is south of Georgetown, and it's brackish. There is fresh water colliding with salt water.
Was that the first time you saw an alligator?
Yeah. You're basically gonna run into a lot of different wildlife, so you should have your cameras ready.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we got into the river, it was kind of like it was a different ball game. It was brackish brown water. It was fresh water, salt water. There's currents. There's really strong currents in that river, just south of Georgetown and around Georgetown, and we were lucky enough to get in at slack tide. But as you can see from some of the video we're going to show you, we stayed at Harbor Walk Marina.
It was a really nice marina, right outside of a really nice hotel that has an outside bar, and it had a good nightlife the night that we were there.
It's the best marina in Georgetown.
Mm-hmm.
And when we came in, I was a little bit concerned because as I came around the corner and the dock master was guiding me in, I realized that we don't have a slip. We don't even have a T-head. We have a parallel parking job to do on the interior, with the current running like 4 to 5 knots.
They were 2 finger slips, and as you were turning in, there was a 50-foot yacht on the starboard side. Then there was another 50-foot yacht on the port side, and then maybe a 45-foot right directly ahead of us. So we had to make the turn around the first slip, and then slide right in between the other 2 boats with the current going.
Yeah.
The wind was okay, but it was really the current
Yeah.
thing for us.
I'm pretty confident in my captain skills. I can pull into a slip. I can definitely hook up to a T-head, not that big of a deal. But going diagonal through 2 different yachts and then going diagonal through 2 more yachts.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a functioning stern thruster at the time. So it was all kind of like, well, I guess we're gonna see what happens here. Okay.
Actually, I might take you about another 10 feet forward.
Okay.
Maybe it's about 3 feet and I can line this clean up for.
3 feet forward?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Alright, you're good right there.
So let's talk about Georgetown itself as a stop. It is a small town. It's probably the smallest town that we have encountered yet on this.
It was a very charming little street.
Georgetown in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
It basically, the downtown of Georgetown is basically, I don't know, 5 blocks long, maybe 6. It's got some surprisingly good restaurants. I was surprised that they actually had a couple of fine dining places.
Mm-hmm.
I
We had a
was
Japanese place that we ate
Right.
at.
I was surprised that it was a little bit more upscale for a small town than I expected. Which, hey, you know, we'll do upscale, but really nice area to walk. They have a really nice premium hotel right outside of the Harbor Walk Marina. We didn't get much time to explore the Harbor Walk. And the Harbor Walk is this really long wooden dock that runs along the backside of all the restaurants and shops. So you can actually walk along the water and you can, you know, tour the downtown. At the end of the Harbor Walk, they have some historical landmarks and a park and a museum. Didn't get to go in the museum, but they have some really interesting Revolutionary War, Civil War stuff at the end of the harbor walk. So overall, Georgetown is a great stop. I would stop there again if I was on my way north or south. You kind of don't have a choice. It's the only really major marina or marina town on your way north or south through that area.
But that hotel that we were staying at, the George Hotel. is what it's
George,
called.
yeah.
It was pretty happening that
Yeah.
night. There was a lot of people in the outside bar.
Mm-hmm.
They were around the fire pit, and they were just drinking and having a nice time at the bar.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I would spend maybe one night, maybe two. It's not more than a 2-night town. There's just not a whole lot there,
Yeah.
other than a place to stop and a place to eat and explore for a
Yeah.
day or so.
Stretch your legs. Look
But-
at little small town Americana. It was
Yeah.
really nice. Charming little place.
Right. So, so that's kind of our review of Georgetown. If you're on the water like us and you're looking for places to stop, it's definitely a place to stop. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Other than that, cheers.
Cheers to the next stop.
We'll see you at the next stop.